Hey everybody, welcome to Day 5, Breakfast with Bob from Hotel West End in beautiful Nice. My name is Bob Babbitt. We are brought to you by Master Spas, SFuels Go Longer, HOKA Let's Fly, deboer wetsuits, Form Smart Swim goggles, Zoot Sports, original triathlon brand, Quintana Root, Premium Plus Sports, and of course our Challenged Athletes Foundation. Our next guest, speaking of Quintana Root, Mr. Jay Prasuhn joins us. How you doing, Jay?
Not too bad. A little bit jet lag, but getting by.
You have been to a lot of Ironman World Championship events over the years.
A couple. I mean, I'm catching up with you, I guess. Since 1999, I think that was my first year I was in Kona to see the Ironman World Championships when I was an editor with Triathlete magazine.
Exactly, yes. And it's sort of interesting to be over here with a Ironman World Championship in a different country.
It's pretty wild. It's been such a mainstay in Kona to, I think we were talking about earlier. It's going to be just a complete toss-up of the cards,
right, to
a degree, with a new course that's definitely doesn't have the Kona winds, doesn't have the heat. There's going to be some heat, I think, but
yes,
it doesn't have the heat that Kona's known for. But it's definitely got some hills.
Yes.
Definitely going to have some flat cement for the run, so
yeah,
it should be good.
And you've got Matt Hansen riding Quintana Root.
That's right. Yep, he's our ace for this weekend, so we're pretty excited about how he goes this weekend.
And you guys have a launch?
We do, yeah. So the reason I'm here and our CEO, Peter Hurley, is here is Quintana Root is announcing that we're selling into Europe for our bikes and wetsuits. So basically taking our model, direct-to-consumer model,
yes,
customization, ability to build a bike to fit, and delivering it to consumers over here.
So delivering it right to the consumer.
Yep.
I mean, and that's fairly new for the cycling industry, because it was all about the independent bike dealers.
Yeah, it's definitely changed in that way. It's a huge benefit, obviously, to the triathlete. They're able to get the bike direct to them without retail markup.
Right.
And they can just really have a peer-to-peer relationship with the bike brand. So it's important for us to be here, certainly be in Kona, support
right,
our athletes in Kona with support and other races around North America. So it's been pretty awesome for us to make that switch. I think it was about 6 years ago that we switched from being in shops to direct-to-consumer.
As someone who, from the very beginning, was sort of covering the bike scene for Triathlete magazine, you're a tech guy.
Yeah.
And talk a little bit about the Quintana Root, and because people see all the different bike brands and they go, well, what's the difference?
Yeah, I mean, you were there at the beginning when Dan Enfield kind of started kicking the whole thing off with wetsuits and,
yes,
and bikes back in the 80s,
yep,
and early 90s. And for me, I've been lucky to kind of be, starting in 1999 to watch the evolution of bike technology from steel to
yes,
titanium to aluminum and carbon fiber. And in that time, it's been just dicing down every single aspect that you can possibly get together for aerodynamics, weight, stiffness, all those things. Carbon bikes have been fantastic in that regard.
Right.
And I think the splitting point between brands is, the engineers you're bringing aboard. We've got Brad Devaney as our lead engineer. We've got a couple of other engineers in-house. And he's just got his nose to what's going on with regard to wind tunnel testing, prototyping, all that stuff. So
yes,
it's a great company to be working with from a tech
right,
advancement standpoint.
When you talk about wind tunnel testing, what have you guys gained? We always hear the athletes, back in the day, no one had access to it. Now everybody seems to have access to wind tunnel and testing out. Are you testing out different components in the wind tunnel, or are you mainly the whole bike, the athlete on the bike?
A bit of everything.
Okay.
We've had Matt Hansen in the tunnel. We've had, I think it was about a week ago, we had Brad in the A2 wind tunnel in
yes,
North Carolina. Doing some prototype testing with just the bike, but we do both. We'll do it with athlete without, we'll do it with bottles without, just trying to change up every single iteration, all different yaw angles to try and met out every watt you can figure out for benefit for the athlete.
What have you found from all these years in there that makes the biggest difference?
Fit, 100%.
It's always the fit, right?
It always is. I mean, that's the majority of the surface area that's coming
The
against
head,
the wind.
just where your
Head
position.
position, shoulders. You're seeing a lot of the athletes right now starting to put a bottle down the front of their jersey.
I saw that.
Yeah.
I know that Patrick always did that in the run, but on the bike, it started with Joe Skipper. I think was in the first.
Yeah,
one
and
to
they're
do
just
that.
basically filling that empty space that usually wind hits that.
Yes.
And it creates a turbulence there. So now you're creating a space for the wind to basically shuttle off and around
Right.
the back of you as you're going by. But fit is the hugest part of it, for sure.
And you see most triathletes are not fit very well on their bike. I mean, when you're watching a race, I'm imagining you're seeing people go by and go, oh my God, who set that guy up?
Yeah, I mean, I sit there and think about Dan Enfield when we talk about fit. You see so many athletes that are riding amazing bikes.
Right.
They've spent a ton to get these great bikes, but they're riding in the base bar. They're not in the aero position. They're not
Because
riding
they're not comfortable, probably.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you have to train to it for sure. But yeah, being in that position, being comfortable in that position, and a position you can hold power
Right.
over 5, 6, 7 hours of an Ironman. That's the ticket.
Biggest change in bikes since you've been involved?
I'd say it's integration. It's funny, like I was thinking about this on the way over. Back when I was at Triathlete Magazine, I brought a bunch of the engineers together. I brought Gerard Vrooman and Jim Felt, Brad Devaney. We all kind of got together and we did this engineers roundtable
Wow.
to basically talk about what is happening with technology. Where's the next
Yes.
where's the next big advance? This was, I think we did this 15 years ago or so in Kona, and they all talked about drivetrain, and we've seen some advances, I think, from ceramic speed on the drivetrain side.
Yes.
But nothing we're still chain driven bike. Right now, everything's integration. You're integrating hydration, nutrition into the frame, trying to get as many small parts off of the bike that are
Potential drag.
Exactly. That's probably the biggest thing right now.
When I see all what Magnus has done with sort of the cockpit,
Yep.
right, with the handlebars, there's been so many changes in that. Because it was funny, I was just looking through my Ironman book. In 1986, everybody's still on road bikes.
Yeah.
In '87, everybody's on aero bikes with the DH and the DH bars.
Yep.
It looked like an irrigation setup on the front of your bike. But that seems where so many people have spent so much time just on that sort of cockpit area.
Yeah, that's a huge part, and again, that's kind of lends to that whole filling the space.
Yes.
You put the hands in front of the in front of your face. You're just basically being able to move the wind around the back of you instead of having it kind of catch the front of you
Right.
as a sail. So.
And with Quintana Roo, road bikes and tri-bikes?
Yep. So we're for Europe anyway, as this launch goes, we're bringing the VPR, XPR, SR6 Aero road bike, and then obviously wetsuits as well and swim skins. And those
Very
are all coming
cool.
here with all the customization. I mean, that's the biggest thing is customization fit. Yeah, we're super stoked to be bringing those.
When will
those
that
in.
launch?
It's now. Yeah,
It's
we've
now,
been
right
yeah
now.
we've been kind of soft launching it over the last few months, and it's been awesome. We just want to let everybody know that's over here. Like, hey, you can order, contact our team.
Yes.
We'll have, in the coming months or so, we'll have German-speaking staff that are going to be able to address that
Right.
market in their native language on European time. But yeah, we're doing it now, and super stoked.
I look at at this market over here, and you think about it. I think we have 8 full Ironmans in U.S. and North America, and there's 20 some over here. So your timing couldn't be better with the amount of the exposure you get from having an Ironman World Championship here in Nice. That is next year will be the women, the following year will be the men. It's not like that's going to change. So
Right.
there's more and more emphasis going into Europe.
Oh, totally. It's I don't want to say ripe for the picking, but
Right.
it's such a fantastic market to address. I mean, you're seeing so many amazing Germans and British athletes that are coming up through the age group ranks. This
Yes.
is where there's a ton of talent.
And people just go to your website in terms of just go to Quintana
Yeah,
Roo?
just go to quintanaroo.com and order there. We will have some specific European sites that are going to be dropping here in the next couple of weeks or month. But right now, you just go to the main site and build your bike online. There's a configurator. You just build it, load up the color, the spec. You can choose your crank length, stem length, all that stuff. There's just a lot of a la carte capability that we're able to deliver.
As a guy who basically got into the sport during Peter Reed, Luke Van Lierde, Laurie Bowden, that era, And now, we're in a totally different era with different personalities, Christian and Gustav and all these amazing athletes. Plus, there's Super League, there's Challenge,
Yep.
there's Clash, there's Ironman, there's 70.3, there's World Tri. I personally feel this is probably one of the best eras ever for the sport of triathlon. Obviously, with your guys' launch over here, you guys feel the same way.
Oh, totally. Yeah, I mean, personally, I feel lucky to be, like you mentioned, I've gotten to see Peter and Tim DeBoom and all these guys
Yes.
race back in the day.
Yeah.
But I'm so lucky to get to be here to watch Jan in what seems to be going to,
his last time,
his
yeah.
last race. It's I'm seeing all these young kids coming up. It's a treat. I mean, I'm
Yes.
sure it is for you too. But
Oh, it's the best.
it's amazing to be here personally, but it's amazing to be here as a brand to kind of like be part of this next wave.
From a personal perspective, you've been immersed in this sport, this crazy, silly sport, like you said, since '99, and obviously there's a lot of places that a lot of us could go and make more money.
Sure.
But there's something special about these events. It's when you see somebody come across the finish line for the first time, and just the emotion and the passion that goes with it. And that for me, it never gets old. I'm guessing for you,
Man,
it's the same way.
I remember the first time in Kona. Well, first I remember John Duke dropping a ticket on my desk when I got hired there in '99, saying, "This is your first assignment. Go to Kona." And it's just seeing just the mass of humanity there, and then hearing the cannon go off. And every year since there, I still get butterflies when the cannon goes off.
It's the coolest thing.
And I'm sure it's going to be the same this weekend.
Yes.
It's just, it doesn't stop.
Well,
Never
now,
get jaded.
have you been here for this race before?
No, this will be the first time. I've been dropped into Nice a few times. I went to, this was 1,000 years ago when Ironman had a half Ironman in Monaco.
Oh, wow.
Raced that. That was, I think, Rukebeke won that year.
Yeah.
And then I did the Canada International Triathlon a few years ago as well. So been on the Côte d'Azur a couple times, but this is the first time dropped in spending time in Nice and just having a blast. Cannot wait to see what the race brings.
And to be honest, it reminds me of Kona because as we look out the window, there's people running by, riding by. This is a fitness community that really parallels what we see in Kona every year.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's cool. You can tell that there's a ton of locals that are, I was out this morning, and just a lot of locals speaking French that are just out for the run.
Yes.
Or going for the swim that they would normally do on a Tuesday or Wednesday.
This is a lifestyle.
Exactly.
Yeah, and it's funny because it sounds like during COVID, they doubled down on building bike lanes, and they just got out there and just, the fitness part of this part of the world is simply crazy. It's pretty nutty. What will you be doing on race day?
My plan is to probably chase. I'll take one of our bikes and ride up the course a little bit, take some photos. Like to usually get. I just love taking photography.
Yes, well, that's your background.
So I'll take shots of the athletes at some point on the course, and then wait for them to come back, get shots of them on the run, and I love to always download with Matt and any of our other athletes. We've got tons of Zoot triathlon team partner athletes that are going to be racing, so I like to just download with them and see how their race went.
So Zoot is a partner?
Yep.
Very
We've got
cool.
Quite a few teams that are...
Zoot Quintana route.
Yep, exactly.
That's very cool.
Yep,
and do you see in the States, even though we have less Ironman than we had before, do you see the sport still growing?
Oh, yeah, it's I mean, certainly the pandemic had put things on the shelf a little bit.
Right.
But, people still always have that desire for self-improvement.
Yes.
I don't see that stopping at any point. Ironman is always going to be that box to tick for so many people.
Love it.
It's always going to be there.
Well, Jay, congratulations on the launch. That's
Thank
very
you.
Cool. Again, people just go to QuintanaRouteTry.com, and if you're in Europe, you can get a Quintana route delivered to your house.
Exactly.
I love it.
Cool.
Jay Prasuhn has been our guest. Thank you, buddy. Thanks for the support.
Yeah, for sure. Bob, thank you.
Jay Prasuhn has been our guest, everybody. Again, day 5, Breakfast with Bob from Hotel West End. Hold on. We will be right back.